Guys, it's Gig'em247.com. Taylor Ham here at Humble, Texas today. Ran into Tony Brown here at the Junior Olympics track meet supporting his little sister. Now, Tony, I got to ask you got your Gridiron Kings shirt on. You're fresh back from Orlando. Tell us about the experience that you had at the ESPN Gridiron Kings and what you got out of it.
I mean, it was great. Going out there competing with guys a year older than me, you know, five-star guys. Going out there to see what I could do in a 7-on-7 environment and not just one-on-ones. Being able to make plays and cover in game situations with great guys. And, you know, out there in Orlando, getting my first time being in Florida, you know, I loved it out there. Staying at one of the best resorts in Florida. You know, I learned a lot out there in terms of where I should be to make plays with really good receivers. So I feel like I can take what I learned and bring it on the field this season.
You kind of touched on it, but how do you think you stacked up against some of the five-star talent there in Florida?
Well, you know, I feel like I work hard enough to be a five-star, and I feel like I made enough plays to be a five-star out there. And I mean, I maybe got one pass caught on my side, and I was probably a corner. But I mean, if I went back, it probably was less than one, it was 0. So I mean, you know, I loved it out there. I feel like I did the best.
Remind us of what events and what camps you've been to this summer. It's hard to keep up with them all.
I've been to TCU camp, Oklahoma camp, Texas camp, LSU camp, Alabama, Mississippi State. The Rivals 5-Star Challenge, the Rivals Underclassmen Challenge, Top Gun Camp in Virginia, FBU, NUC Top 100 Prospect Camp in Oklahoma, the Gridiron Kings, I said that, the Gridiron Kings, and I think that's it.
Been to camps and events all over the country, man. What is it about you and your competitive nature that wants you, just to keep competing no matter what?
I don't know. I think I was just born with it, to strive to be the best. And I feel like I only had one offer beginning of the summer, maybe one offer. And I feel like that drove me throughout the summer to go everywhere and prove that I was the best and get those offers. And you know, the new ranking that came out, that's probably going to drive me to work even harder and to play even harder in these games and practice. But then I can't get caught up in the rankings and just remember what got me the offers is hard work and making plays. So I'm just going to do that during the season.
It's a lot of exposure. Now, half those teams and college camps that you've been to have offered. Let's transition now into some recruiting. What schools have now offered you? Again, a hard number to keep up with nowadays.
Alabama, LSU, A&M, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Oklahoma. I said Oklahoma, USC, Nebraska, Notre Dame, Illinois, Ole Miss. UCLA, West Virginia, Michigan State. It's a lot. I can't name all 20 offhand like that.
A lot to name. How are you sorting through which ones are kind of sticking out early on in the process?
Probably when I get back home today, me and my dad, we're going to plan which games we go to and make a criteria to see which schools fit those criteria.
Now, I'm sure there's one or two schools or campuses you definitely want to go check out no matter what.
You know, I definitely got to check out the LSU-Alabama game, and I'll go to the A&M game for sure. Doesn't A&M play Oklahoma? Or does A&M play Oklahoma?
No, they're in their SEC now.
It's about for a preseason game. Never mind, but I'll definitely be at the A&M game. You know, now they're in the SEC. I'll probably go to the A&M, LSU. But I'm trying to hit up as many games as I can with the schools that have recruited me.
Let's stick in the SEC and talk about some schools, Alabama, LSU, A&M. All schools recruiting you real hard. I know you kind of have a fondness early on in the process. Let's talk specifically about the Tide. You went up there, showed off in their camp, and picked up an early offer from Nick Saban.
You know, I have to. Nick Saban is named one of the most powerful coaches in football. He's one of the highest paid coaches. So for him to think that highly of me this early, you know, it makes me just want to put in more work to prove him right.
Now in Beaumont, obviously not far from Baton Rouge, so the Tigers are hot and heavy after you're fresh off one of their camps where you were one of their top performers. Well, how do you feel about LSU right now?
You know, they're always going to be high on the list because they were my first offer. They entrust me as earlier than anybody, so you know that they're always going to be high.
Texas A&M, you went out to their camp again, another top performer. Coach Yates, I know is recruiting you hard. I know you guys talked recently. How do you feel about Texas A&M?
I feel strongly, and my sister feels strongly about A&M too. So if she made that decision, they'll have to be in the top 5 because that would be a great deal. Me and my sister going to the same school, the brother-sister tandem. So I mean, if that worked out, that would be great.
I know, talking to B earlier, I know she won her 200-meter heat. She said that Texas A&M's like her top school right now. How much would that weigh into a factor if she went to A&M? Is that somewhere you maybe would possibly want to follow her to?
Yes, sir. That would be strongly considered if she made that decision to go to A&M. As you know, I want to be there to support my sister. She wants to be there to support me, and that would just be a really great deal.
You've got a lot of goals we talked about off the camera for this upcoming junior season. Time for you to really showcase your talents nationally and back that big star rating you got right now. What kind of goals do you have for yourself coming up this season, which is right around the corner?
100+ tackles, 15 interceptions, just crazy numbers, record-breaking numbers. And our main goal is to take my team to the championship. If I have 5 tackles, 2 interceptions, and my team wins the championship, and on my back I'm leading them, that would be a successful season.
You got some high-profile games early on in the season. I know you got Stephenville and Dallas. So, what game maybe do you have circled on your calendar?
I'll definitely have that Stephenville game circled because that would be a high-profile game. There'll be a lot of college coaches there, a lot of analysis there to watch me play, record. So I got to make a lot of plays and show up.
Now, when are you looking to cut down your list?
Probably after the season, going into after the regular season, going into playoffs, probably, or after playoffs.
Now, when are you looking to make a final decision? I know it's a little ways away until February 2014, but I'm sure it's something you and your family and your little sister talk about quite often.
I was probably going to make that decision like maybe the Under Armour game, because I think that's the game that I'm going to go to. I got invited to the Under Armour All-American game for 2014, so I'll probably make a decision at the All-American game.
Finally, what are some of the most important factors for you when breaking it down? You look at all the options that you have on the table. Right now you're looking at, you can go just about anywhere. What's going to be the tip of the hand for you?
Well, it used to be immediate playing time, but I feel like I'm at a level now to wherever I go, I'll be able to play early. So it's just how I feel there, if I feel at home, how the coaches treat me, and the longevity. Because as a coach, when he's going to leave, I don't want a coach to leave while I'm there, the coach that was recruiting me, and just how I feel around players that are being recruited there, like class of 13 guys that are going to that school, if I'm cool with them, and just be cool like that.
Well, this is top 24/7 defensive back Tony Brown.